What's the most dystopian thing happening right now that we never thought could happen just 25 years ago? Everything as a service. No software developer sells their packages anymore, you just owe $70 forever. Car companies are installing heated seats that you have to pay a monthly fee to us. No one owns music or movies, which just disappear from streaming services at a whim. Even that new gaming machine you purchased is useless without an internet connection and subscription. And all that which you do not own can be taken from you or have the prices jacked up after you are dependent on it. It's the drug dealer philosophy of capitalism. Everything is a fucking ad. Spotify was made to not have many ads. Now it's like a fucking radio station. I can barely watch YouTube between the ads for God knows what. Every website I read has about one line of writing between ads. They are trying to use drones and blimps to put ads in the fucking sky. When you pause Hulu, there is a news feed on the side. They put ads on a pause screen. Foul. The death of the concept of truth. Even the Orwell plainly explained the whys and hows. I am still regularly caught off guard by just how successful the campaign to destroy the notion of truth has been. And so, now that nothing is true, then everything is permissible and we are all very severely fucked. Today someone used deepfake audio of the mayor of London pretending that he wanted to postpone Remembrance Day in solidarity with Palestinians. British police say this is not technically a crime. Impersonating the mayor is not a crime, but impersonating a police officer is. Or are they going with the technicality that you are not doing it? The computer is. The police are technically correct. It has not yet been written into UK law that impersonating a prominent politician is illegal, as it would seem a ludicrous thing to do until recently. The mayor of London is a known and widely recognized individual, but a police officer is a generic term for someone who has a job title and wears a uniform. AI is advancing rapidly, but legislation takes years to cobble together. And that's scary. How miserable we all are in the middle of what ought to be a golden age with all our technology. Because the technology and the productivity increases it brings is not being used for human betterment. Still working 40-50 hours a week for no more pay while technology makes living more expensive. See, Zillow and Yieldstar driving up housing prices, for example. Technology is being used to train AI to be a hyper-effective misinformation machine that is eroding democracy around the world. The volume of personal data we willingly give away nearly every fucking day. It's funny, the argument is that any service can offer its own toss, and so it's our choice to pick that service. Meanwhile, in my country you can't even do physical banking anymore. It's all tied to third-party apps and the like, and must be done electronically since banks no longer use physical money. Furthermore, you need a phone to use the bank, the phone itself being a third-party program. My choice, my ass. My best friend used to be with a girl who might be the only person who didn't have any data with the credit agencies. She never had a credit card, never had a utility in her name, etc. When they tried to get a mortgage for a house, they tried to run her credit and got a no-match error. She had no information at all. They also would not put her name on the mortgage because of this, and my friend had to get it in his name solely. Kind of impressive, honestly, and this happened only 5 or 6 years ago. In countries like India and China, linking your biometric data to your bank account, to your phone number, to your vehicle license plate, etc. has become either fully mandatory, or any alternative is designed to be so arduous that it might as well be mandatory. A lot of this data is then illegally sold on by bureaucrats and clerks to private companies, scammers, or data brokers. Imagine almost half the global population having their key data and biometrics taken, stolen, or sold on a daily basis. People have the world's knowledge in their hand and they still choose ignorance. One of the biggest lessons I have learned from this mess is that ignorance is not a lack of data. Ignorance is a deeper issue. It's about a person's relationship with truth itself, whether a person actually wants to peruse truth for its own sake, or if there are ulterior motives like boosting self-esteem. This is so wild to me. I know I Google way more than other people, but for the most basic stuff, people will ask on social media, instead of just typing the same question into a search engine and getting a decent answer. I mean, thanks to the web getting overrun by AI, soon all search results will be meaningless, but we could have had a few good decades there. You know, in sci-fi movies, when somebody buys a beer and the store clerk is like, that will be 3,500 credits, and you think, damn, either beer got way more expensive in the future or money became worth way less. That's how I feel every time I buy anything now. To be fair, in a spacefaring sci-fi, a natural beer is probably very costly since most planets out there are unfit for agriculture. A private conversation on any social media platform will be reflected on all the others you use. The speed at which something from Discord triggers a wave of YouTube recommendations I am absolutely not interested in is always impressive. This is the most frustrating. All my life I have been excited for AI, hoping it would replace the flaws that humans bring to important work like driving and even law, hoping it would allow us to recycle better and mass-produce our luxuries with less than a fraction of our current impact on the environment. Hell, I could even regulate the environment, keeping things in balance. But one of the few fucking things it was supposed to leave to us flawed humans was art. Everything is happening backwards. What is life? Shit prevails. Parking lots are opening across the United States for people working full-time jobs who don't make enough to afford rent, so they live out of their cars. They are touting this as an expansion of affordable housing. I knew it was a problem when I started seeing nice cars parked with people living in them. State land I used to camp on, taken up by people with no other choice. Things are not well. We are in an insect apocalypse. Since the 1990s, insect populations have fallen by up to 90% globally due to human-made insecticides, pollution and habitat loss. If the insect population collapses, every other animal population will also collapse. True, when I was young, insects used to be everywhere. The windshield of my mother's car regularly looked like an insect graveyard. These days I rarely see them, and my own windshield almost never has any dead insect on it even after long drives. I think it's the degradation in quality of everything that's shocking to me. Prices creeping up, amount of food going down, nothing tastes right anymore. The old Navy shirt I bought 20 years ago is fine, but if I buy from them today it will last 6 months at best. I don't have a word for it, but many dystopian works focus on the ignorance and resultant stupidity of the general populace. You want to see dystopia in progress? Follow the Art Teachers subreddit. America is rapidly becoming a nation of ignoramuses who will be easily molded to the will of those in power. Artificial intelligence, which can create realistic pictures and video, has grown almost overnight to the point that millions of people are seeing its content on social media every day and believe what they are seeing is real. The increasing income inequality, it's feeling like we are getting a bit closer to a Hunger Games type world. It's happening at an insane pace. The reason we are not already totally fucked is technology increasing efficiency and productivity almost as fast as income inequality. Economists in the 80s argued a 20-to-1 ratio between executive pay and average workers was ideal to stimulate the economy, maintain morale, and lift all the workers up. For reference, a CEO making $1 million would be paying $50,000 to his staff. Seems reasonable. Today the average in the US is closer to 300-to-1, and some of the worst companies are in the thousands. For example, last year Chipotle CEO made about $18 million while the median worker earned just $16,000. And they have the fucking balls to claim they need to raise prices. The rise of the total surveillance state, of course, well anticipated already in 1948 by Eric Blair, if not much earlier, e.g. Bantham's Panopticon. Edit to copy mention of Russian author Yevgeny Zamyatin's book, We 1924, could be considered another precursor to 1984. It's a great and hugely underrated read which I had totally forgotten about. Companies stealing water and selling it back to the people they stole it from. You can barely feed to people at McDonald's for under 25 bucks. It's crazy. Double cheeseburgers used to be on the dollar menu, now they are like 4 bucks. It's cheaper to go to a deli or pizza place. Nazis used to be the bad guys. Well, they still are, but that used to be a unanimously held public opinion. The thing about Nazis is that everyone agrees that they are the shorthand for pure and objective evil, but most people don't seem to know too much about what and how they did it outside of starting a war and the Holocaust. They are just assumed to be an anomaly, a force of evil that just was, not a product of thoughts that still widely exist brought to an extreme, not a movement that did several things on its way to power that can happen again, not all the atrocities they committed that are smaller than the Holocaust, but ultimately fed into the same machine. They are just seen as that thing that happened, and the end of analysis is most often, and they were the ultimate evil. With that mindset you have not understood anything, but a reflex to call them evil and make comparison of people you find evil to them. If a party or a person is actually acting like Nazis, either on their way to power or when they had it, is irrelevant. Because if what you're doing is anything short of industrial-scale genocide, Nazi is just a hollow insult to them. The vast number of homeless people, especially veterans. In America, there should be no such thing as homeless veterans. Also in America, homelessness should not be a thing, period. Well, the heat index here in my area of Florida was 93 in November, and it has not rained in over a month, driest it has been in 27 years. The last time it rained, everyone in Tampa Bay was woken up in the middle of the night by tornado alerts. We got 6 tornadoes. The last time it rained before that was Hurricane Idalia. My community garden bed will die if I don't go there every other day to water. I have a new kind of pest problem this season. A few of my plants died, I believe, because of ant infestation due to lack of water everywhere but in the garden. The garden is so overrun by ants you can't wear open-toed shoes anywhere in the area. It's kind of subtle climate changes like this that I can see will snowball into disasters in the next 50 years. As I told a friend of mine yesterday, we are going to fight wars over Twinkies when we can't grow food. People moving away from traditional relationships in favor of computer, or fantasy-based relationships. In 10 years when all that catches up and the perfect I mate is available, look the F out. Especially for men, it will be an attractive option. Thanks for watching. Write your opinion or stories in the comments. Support the channel with likes and subscription, it helps a lot.